Ciao Bella, welcome to Bello Uncinetto. I'm Christina and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I've gotten a few recently. And to those of you that have messaged me and said, I realize that my subscription, not subscription, uh, yeah, subscription, not a paid subscription, but like you subscribe to the channel, it had disappeared. I don't know if YouTube is deleting things that you haven't been watching, but every once in a while they go through and seem to get rid of some of the things you haven't watched in a while. So I thank those of you that have come back and let me know that you did indeed come back. And if you've been here a while, I always appreciate your time as well. So today we are going to do, if you've seen the thumbnail, fiber arts on screen. This is something that I started this year, and I'm trying to look at the different ways that fiber arts have shown up in TV, in movies, and uh, I don't have like a lot of subscription services. So some of the things that I'm relying on are comments that you guys leave me and research that I've done in other avenues, like on Reddit threads or Instagram or uh, just searching for something in Google, right? But so far, I've done a couple of these, and they're being okay received. But my goal is to focus on one at a time. So I'm not going through and doing, this is where I see crochet in 10 different films or TV shows. I'm focusing on one specific TV show or series or movie or something like that. And today we are going to focus on Cruella. This is a Disney movie, and it is the prequel to 101 Dalmatians. So if you grew up with Pongo and Perdita, right, and the song um, that he sings for the uh, villain song, you know Cruella de Vil, right? She wants to make the coat out of the puppy's fur, and she keeps asking Roger and Anita, right, to buy all the puppies, and then they get kidnapped and so forth and so on. And they end up with 101 Dalmatians at the end. Well, Disney has been making, for a while now, live action versions of many of their films. And one of the things that they've been doing is showing uh, the villain's origin story in some of these live action movies that they've been doing. And while Cruella is not my favorite villain, I don't dislike her as a villain necessarily. I think she does really well for portraying a villain. She certainly makes people not like her, which is kind of what villains do. If you don't know who my favorite villain is, stick around for a little bit. You'll figure it out. But uh, Cruella does some pretty disturbing things, right, in the 101 Dalmatians movie. But in her origin story, which is what we're going to talk about, and the reason why I'm bringing this movie to the channel is because it talks about fiber arts, right? Now, it's not crochet or knitting, right, if you haven't seen the movie, but it is talking about doing things with fiber. So I wanted to bring that to you all. So the movie is set in 1970s London, which is interesting in and of itself just because of the fashion of the time, right? And Estella, who is the um, protagonist, I guess, in the video, I mean, she becomes the antagonist in 101 Dalmatians. But in this, especially at the beginning of the movie, she's just an innocent girl, right? Maybe. And she wants to be a fashion designer, and she uh, catches the eye of a Baroness von Helven, who is this renowned fashion designer. But um, things don't go as planned, right? But there are several instances where you see Estella sketching, and I've tried to capture some of those. I had to go to Instagram for a lot of the pictures, but it was fine. So the designs are stunning, and even the fashion that they're wearing, not necessarily the Baroness, right? But even the fashions that they're wearing as the designers, they're very, very, very period, right? And I can remember um, seeing movies and things like that growing up, because I was born in the 80s. I was born in the 1980s, so I remember watching things and thinking that looks really cool, right? But so seeing that movie when it came out was interesting to be like, oh, I remember that. But it doesn't seem like it was that long ago to me. I don't know about you, uh, but it seems like I was just 20 something a year ago. I don't feel my age, right? And it's hard for me to think about the distance between when I was born and now, and how some of the things that have happened are closer to like ancient history than they are to today. I don't know. That's not the point of this, but it's the fashion was really interesting. And so there's this one scene where Estella is sketching, right? And she's sketching um, in a car because the Baroness has dubbed her Grubby Girl and asked her to get her some lunch. And then they're in the car and she's eating lunch and she's like trying to design this gown. And she was like, oh, it could do with a, what did she say? It could do with a lining. And then Estella says, well, yeah, I could use some tulle or something to that effect. And the Baroness is like, that's exactly what I just said. But it wasn't exactly what she just said, but it was along the same lines. But you can see in the Baroness's eyes. Now, I don't have a picture of the eyes, but if you're watching the movie, you can see in her eyes that she is like looking at this design like, whoa, like she's designing this. So she's catching glimpses and glimpses and glimpses of all the talent that Estella has. And one day, Estella is eating lunch in the alley, right? And she gets picked up by these two goons, so to speak, and she's brought to the Baroness's office. And the Baroness takes the thing that she's been working on, and she was like, I was working on my lunch break in a public space. And the Baroness says, I own the alley. I own your soul. Like, I own everything that you do. Like, read your contract. And it's kind of in that moment where you see her be like, I don't agree with this. Excuse me. So she starts furiously planning in her brain, and then she gets um, this other um, store owner who has a rather unique style. And if you haven't seen the movie, I'm trying not to ruin the movie for you. I'm trying not to give away like big, big spoilers. But she starts designing late at night and doing all of these sewing uh, things, and you can slowly see the changes that are happening in her, from the way that she's dressing to the way that she's styling her hair. And then there's ultimately the end of the movie, right? She comes out and she's got that signature black and white hair. Um, because there was another scene in the movie that I didn't put in here, where the Baroness and Estella are having lunch and she's talking to her about whether or not you have that killer instinct to have your own brand, to have your own line. Like you care too much about other people. You don't care about anyone. That's how you get ahead. And by that point, Estella's already been like planning. But anyway, it is a very, very interesting movie in terms of how the pieces are structured and how they're put together, how they're designed, the fashion shows that go on, the need for a signature piece. So I think a lot of that comes into some of the things that designers do in any of the fiber arts, right? They're looking for that one or two pieces that are going to put them on the map so that people want to come back and look at their patterns or watch their channel or buy their books or whatever that may be, right? And I have designed a couple of patterns. They weren't like shawls or anything like that. They were cleaning, like duster kind of products. And I'm not looking to be put on the map by any means. I think about the level of creativity that takes and the level of um, inventiveness that you have to look at these things that you see in the world around you and see how they could go together in a different way, or how you could take something that's in your mind and put it into our 3D world, right? You take it from this 2D drawing and make it into a 3D reality, whether that's a garment, whether that's a house, whatever it is, right? I think it is absolutely amazing. And the ingenuity that this movie shows with regards to fashion is why I wanted to bring it to your attention today. So, if you haven't seen the 2021 Cruella by Disney, go check it out if you're interested. I think that, I mean, there are some kind of cringy parts, but it is entertaining. It's full of these incredible fashion moments where, I don't know, if you were born during the time I was born or even before me, it's going to look completely normal to you in most cases. But if you were born significantly after me, then you may think that that's very vintage, right? But for it just looks like normal clothing to me. I don't know. Um, so I hope that you have enjoyed this edition of Fiber Arts on Screen. And if you've seen the movie, in the comments below, let me know what your favorite part was. If you have not seen the movie, do you want to watch it? Have you seen other villain origin stories? Doesn't necessarily have to be Disney villain origin stories. Uh, and what is something that you, fashion wise, really, really miss? And what is something fashion wise that you really, really regret? I know I definitely have mine, but I would love to read your comments. And if you have any suggestions for what I should do next with Fiber Arts on Screen, put that in the comments as well. Uh, if you have any pictures that you would like to share of certain scenes, you can always pop into my Facebook group, which is linked in the description box, and you can say, hey, I had this suggestion for this Fiber Arts on screen segment, and you can put the picture in there if you'd like. Sometimes I've gotten a couple of emails where people have just taken pictures of things that they're watching on TV, and they're like, hey, this has crochet in it, or this has knitting in it, and they'll send it to me. But if you wanted to put that in the Facebook group as well, that'd be great. And as always, be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao, Bella!